Hello, guys. Welcome into week 4 of the DMR preview podcast. Look at that, this thing's still going. So, I've got Richie here with me this week,
What's up?
as per usual. No Dell this week, unfortunately. He wanted us to say that he was very wary of Shauna's witch powers this week, so he's not putting himself on display and he's not here to mention anything about his preview this week. So, work, Shauna, not here because of your stupid witch powers.
He's afraid of getting a curse put on him.
Yeah, exactly. But instead, we do have very first guest lined up this week for the DMR podcast. Do you want to do a little intro for him there, Richie?
Yeah, he's the worst person in the league, and in fairness, he's not that bad. He's an alright guy, but he's a terrible coach. So here is Mr. John Hand.
Oh, welcome in, John.
What's up, boys?
Welcome to the best podcast in the Crisp Bowl.
I heard some interference there, but thank you for having me on your podcast.
Yeah, we were just
good to
saying,
be the first guest. No, it's a big
Yeah.
honor.
very first guest, yeah. We were just mentioning there that Dell couldn't make this week because he was afraid of Shauna's hex witch powers. So he wanted to keep himself clean going into this weekend.
I mean, it's the only way to stay safe from Sean at this stage.
Yeah, but she's not going to be watching, so it's all good. Probably would have been safe.
We were remiss in not mentioning that Shauna doesn't listen to these podcasts a couple of days ago, so I'm glad we got it out there early.
Yeah. Oh, you even got to say it yourself too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just mentioning there as well. It's a very trophy-heavy trio right now. 3/4 of the winners of the Drispo here right now.
Got
Yeah.
five out of the 7 years right here.
So,
Well, sorry, 5 out of 6.
yeah, so we've got to listen to us. We know what we're talking about.
Exactly.
Not if you look at how our season's going right now, but soon.
We've got about 2 wins between all of us.
Oh, well, I have 2 wins.
Oh, you got 2. Okay.
These
that's
two
not
boys
too-
are slacking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the way this usually works, you usually just have a quick overlook of the week's waiver wire going by. We might mention your trade as well, seeing as you didn't get mentioned on that this week. It's recorded after that trade, didn't it?
No, we recorded before it, yeah. So we
Yeah.
we hadn't done the trade by the time we recorded, yeah.
Yeah, so kind of standard. Rob wanted his boy, Justin Jefferson, so he got him.
I don't think anyone was too surprised at that. Like, he had a really good game. Hopefully going to step into those Stephon Diggs shoes, kind of.
I know the Vikes needed something to do.
Oh, definitely. And, their offense did look a lot better when he's a part of it, so.
It's true. 6 people went for him this week, which is clearly there's a lot of hope put in that lad.
Yeah. It seemed like a big waiver week this week. I thought maybe last week would be the biggest one with Saquon and McCaffrey and stuff going down, but it kind of seemed like this was the biggest so far.
Yeah.
Just because there's more bloody injuries again.
Yeah.
But I thought an interesting one was Mark came up on Carry On.
Yeah, I thought that was especially for Rex Burkhead too, which is kind of you're taking a massive roll of the dice with those Patriots running backs. Like,
Yeah. Like 1 week last week he did absolutely amazing, but that pretty much guarantees he's gonna not do well this week because they're not going to put that faith in him twice in a row.
Against the Chiefs this week, it's hard to have any faith in any of the Patriots running backs, just with how high flying the offense might have to be to keep up with them. So
yeah, the Ravens are the best running team in the league, and they couldn't keep up with the Chiefs on Monday, so the Patriots might struggle as well. Yeah, you obviously picked up Carlos Hyde as well as a little insurance.
Yeah, I was surprised he fell to me. I thought Mark might grab him because he might be a bit more useful than Rex Burkhead for a couple of weeks, but I just thought I'd grab him because if I didn't grab him and Hannah got him and I'm playing her this week and she was possibly missing Chris Carson, so you gotta soak them up like well you can.
Yeah, and it's a weird one because Chris Carson's just immediately back in practice like nothing happened. Like that looked awful with his leg, and he's just back. He's just fine.
Yeah, it's crazy, and because even 1 to 2 weeks I thought was pretty optimistic considering how bad it looked like his knee had got twisted, but already he was doing walkthroughs yesterday and today, so I mean, he's obviously not too banged up.
There was now a trade which kind of had added importance now in the last 15-20 minutes of the time we're recording here. You and Dell and Scary Terry for Evan Singletary.
We've been kind of talking trades for a little while about he needed a running back and I needed a wide receiver, and I think that was neither of us really wanted to give up on the guys we gave up on, and I don't think either of us really wanted the guys that we got as much as we wanted other guys on each other's teams, but this is the only trade we could kind of both agree to. So yeah, the Terry McLaurin injury news isn't great. He probably wasn't going to play for me this week anyway against Baltimore, but I mean, it's obviously never good to get injured.
Yeah, I was wearing the ear off you last week to try to get Devin Singletary over the line, but couldn't get it done.
You weren't the only person. There was trades thrown. I'm pretty sure I threw some Devin Singletary or Richie a few times as well.
Yeah, I think it popped up once, and I was just like, I can't. I think that was like coming into week 2 even, because he had only had one like mediocre game and he hadn't done well yet. So I was like, I'm not taking that risk. Now I wish I took that risk.
He looked good. We'll see if, I mean, it kind of does just depend on Zach Moss when he comes back. Does it go back to the old kind of split of the carries, or can Singletary wrestle a few away from him?
Yeah, so I think is there anything else you want to mention about the waiver from the last few days?
Hannah has put in like 7 waiver requests, I think, in total over the whole year. Hasn't got one of them yet. She's got sniped on every single pickup she's tried to do so far.
That's what she gets for winning all the time. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you put up good numbers, you're not going to get a place in the waiver.
Yeah, she's had the worst. And like last week, she only tried to pick up like a kicker and a quarterback, and she still couldn't get a hold of the one that she wanted. Like,
I don't know why Drew Lock is still on that team, to be honest.
Yeah, I think like she tried to drop him for Justin Herbert and Ryan Tannehill last week, I'm pretty sure, and me and Michael beat it to that. But she's obviously, I mean, you got to get someone else in there on the bench, especially this week.
Realizes she can pick up players outside of waiver wires, didn't she?
I'm pretty sure. I'll say it to her later to be sure, but
yeah. So I know a certain rival podcast don't like this next little section that we like to do, but we just like to have a brief overlook from the previous week. 1 was a bit of a piss take, but we'll be honest with that. Didn't mean it to turn into what it did.
Well, in fairness, it's good to give context to this week's matchups when you know what everyone did last week. You know.
Yeah. So
we're still good.
Especially when it comes to like talking about the injuries that happened and that kind of thing.
So we'll quickly jump into last week's matchup. So, anyone is particularly want to start with, or jump into any of them?
Whichever one.
At the top of the list here.
So. First on your app there, yeah.
I had a fucking shocking week with CMC out. It was never going to look good. Mike Evans did all right, and that was about it. I didn't have anyone in double digits other than Patrick Mahomes coming in clutch, dropping 50 points. Well, 48.5, but we'll round it up to 50. God damn.
Yeah, he just.
I had no faith against the Ravens defense.
Yeah, it's fair to even put up over 25 is probably good against the Ravens defense. Like, so to double that is pretty fucking impressive.
Yeah, obviously caught Barry on pretty much his worst week ever in his 3 or 4 years in the league now.
Yeah. Oh Jesus, that was abysmal. You feel bad for someone when they have a week like that, because it just happens every now and then where everyone just continually shits the bed. But like Kyler Murray put up double digits, DK Metcalf did. That was it.
Yeah.
Everyone else is, other than 2 people, everyone else is below 5 points.
He needed that win anyway, so he did. So you gotta just take it any way it comes.
Oh, 100%. I'm not questioning it. I'm still happy to beat his ass, but yeah, not looking pretty. And then, like, even looking on his bench, he didn't, like, there was nothing he could have done to up it much more than it was.
Yeah. Jump into me and Dell, obviously. It was a very strange one. It was got a little tetchy at times as well. I kind of got get into some certain comments I probably shouldn't have said, but I think I was just pissed off that 3 of my lads went off early, and then I was looking at Alvin Cook popping off, Allen Robinson popping off, and I was like, geez, I have no chance of winning this. And then Tyler Lockett came up clutch with 3 touchdowns and 100 yards, which is kind of really.
Yeah, and the Bucks defense did unbelievable for you as well.
Yeah, like I said, I was pretty high in the Bucks. I knew they had a bad week 1 matchup against the Saints that time, but they had a very favourable run of games after that, so I was pretty confident with that Bucks D pick. It's paying off anyway.
It was a weird one breaking down you and Dale's game because we were like, it's weird to say Martin was lucky this week because like you lost 3 lads and still scored 120 points. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty impressive. Like the team did they filled out well for you in everyone else's absence.
Yeah. And like Chris Godwin did fairly well before he went down, so he was all right.
Sure, we'll just quickly go into a corner animal game that was between you and Rob.
Two cornered animals cornering each other. Just a tiny room with 2 rabid animals. Yeah, like we were, kind of what we said in the other one is just Lamar Jackson was really the difference, I guess, at the end of the day. If he with Patty Mahomes, I was probably cooked. Like if he got 1 touchdown to his boy Hollywood. Like neither of our teams did great. Like that's my highest score this year, and like the majority of my team absolutely shit the bed. Like outside of James Conner, I don't think anyone broke 15. So not fantastic. Like it's good to get the win, obviously, but Rob has a week of his team scoring 140 or something like that, and I don't know which is almost better to have in the back pocket right now. Like because at least he knows his team can do it when they're all fit there. I'm still not sure if my team can do it.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out that the only other person to break 15 in your team was your kicker. And against Rob, that is the best thing that could possibly happen.
Kickers probably go crazy against Rob all year now, I'd say.
Yeah. Fucking go Sean O'Mark. Goddamn Russell Wilson won this game.
Oh, it's crazy. Like when does it stop with Russell Wilson?
Not this week.
It's absolutely nuts the numbers he's putting up.
Yeah, and he's throw another 5 against Miami, handy enough if he wants to. Like,
oh yeah, God, I had down Mark for his first win last week, and it was looking very likely until Russell was cooking. He's gonna be happy enough. Eckler at 24 points. He needed that kind of game. Keenan Allen nearly 20 points. He needed that. But
I was kind of worried with Rob playing Josh Kelly against the Panthers there, that since they might just kind of go up big, and if they're ahead, they just give the rookie a bunch of touches, but obviously it ended up being a close game, and I think that's probably why Eckler
Panthers offense is like 1,000 cuts or something, so it is.
Oh, it's madness. Like it's tough to watch because when it comes to the red zone, they won't be able to make those 10 yards. So it's just a field goal offense at the minute, really, unless someone falls down in secondary and Bobby Anderson breaks free. Like yeah.
But obviously, Deontay Johnson had one early for Mark. Joe Mixon didn't really show up either.
Yeah, Joey Mixon's a tough one for Mark. Like, he's just really underperforming and just not getting the touches, and the O-line looks bad. So,
yeah, we'll leave poor Michael to last. So just quickly, Hannah Connor probably the best matchup of the week. As in, it was, I suppose, just because of the shock of Connor getting it done. I'd been saying for a while that Connor's team had been building. I thought it was a week. It might have been still a week early against Hannah last week, but got the job done.
Yeah, and like Connor is now 2-1. He's at the top end of the league. What are we doing, lads?
I forgot he met Rob like the first week, so he's on 2 wins. Yeah, Hannah's obviously a bit disappointed, but I don't think she's too worried.
Yeah, like her team is absolutely solid. Like she didn't have a bad week. Connor just had a slightly better week.
Yeah, that's what it was really. And then last but not least, for the O'Brien Bowl, Michael was getting absolutely smoked.
I called it. You didn't believe me, and I fucking said it was going to happen. I'm absolutely delighted that it did.
Well, to be honest, I didn't see Michael. I thought Michael would at least fill out his team. So,
I think obviously the Mills losing early and him being on the soft didn't help. But I think deep in his heart, he didn't want to put a full strength team out there and get his ass beat by his brother. He wanted to be able to say, yeah, look, I got my ass beat, but I started Julio Jones. He has.
Yeah.
So look, no more excuses, Michael. But he's sick. And speaking from a Canadian division perspective, John's team is a problem. It's a big problem.
Top
I
three is the
imagine
problem.
looking at Shauna as well is kind of similar. That's just like, what's
Waiting
stopping
for
these boys doing this all year? Like, it just keeps going.
got to make the playoffs and hope for the best.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's our brief, whatever. Look back at the previous week, so we'll just jump straight into the this week's preview. And seeing as you're a guest, John, sure we'll start off with you.
Yeah, probably looking a little bit better that I'm not going to play Derrick Henry this week, even though I lose James Conner. I'd probably take that exchange, if I'm honest. But I know Hannah's team is still very good. Dak Prescott playing Cleveland isn't a great matchup for me. Like, he could score a lot of points there. Tyreek Hill against New England, they're kind of, I don't know if they'll kind of go hard to try and take him away or if they'll try hard to take Kelsey away. But I mean, one way or another, he usually gets it done. Like, so. And Calvin Ridley, I'm very worried about against Green Bay too, because if that's a high-scoring game,
I feel like that's going to be a high-scoring game.
What do you cap Calvin Ridley's points at? Like, he could score 3 touchdowns. Like,
yeah, he didn't score last week, so he's probably locked in. Especially
not good.
Especially if Julio's still banged up. Russell Gage is out, so
I mean, who else? Jesus, he could get 100 targets.
Yeah. I think the hope is going to be if Dak is going to try and get a touchdown, he's going to just pass it off to Zeke. And that way you'll get the points and she won't.
Yeah. I tell you, if I'd have been playing her there like 2 weeks ago and Dak like just ran 3 of them in on the goal line, like, so it could be a big swing in our game on the old the Cowboys red zone offense for sure.
Yeah, I have a little note here just saying the strange one for me. I really like the top half of your team, and I really like the bottom half of Hannah's team. So it's kind of like a tough one to call. I like your top three. He's against Detroit, Zeke, then Kenyon Drake. Like, he's got to show up at some stage with a big game.
I feel like this has got to be, if he doesn't do it for me this week, it will be James Conner will be my RB2 going forward, and Drake can just compete with whoever for a flex spot, I think. But yeah, I'm hoping for a big week for him against the Panthers.
But then obviously you were saying with the wide receivers, I do like Hill, Ridley.
Yeah,
against
like
Beckham
that's
and
a hell of a one too. Yeah, like, you can't expect anywhere near the points them two, but like, their ceiling is bigger than what like individually their ceiling is better than my two boys' ceilings combined. You'd have to say.
Yeah.
Like, I'll need a lot of luck. I think Odell Beckham could have a good week for me this week. And Devontae Parker, I just need to get lucky that turns into a shootout. I had my second waiver request if someone took Drew Brees this week was for Ryan Fitzpatrick, just to start him against Seattle, because they allow like so much passing yards.
I know, yeah.
Jamal
Adams, is he out? Because he's out as well now, isn't it?
I think he's definitely still injured. I'm not sure if he's been ruled out at this point, but even still now, I'm a little bit tempted because Drew Brees hasn't done anything amazing this year, and if Michael Thomas isn't healthy, you're just kind of hoping for a lot of big Alvin Kamara plays, so like pass plays. So.
Yeah, I like what he did fucking Green Bay, where he just disgusting play, so it was.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
But yeah, any idea you're gonna stick in the flex now that Gary Terry's probably gonna be out?
Yeah, like, even if he wasn't out, I kind of just thrown him in there.
Keeping the cards close to the chest.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, Carlos Hyde is kind of interesting, but he's got a shoulder injury, and they do like to kind of spread it around in the backfield sometimes. I've got that guy Jeff Wilson, who scored a couple of touchdowns last week. Yeah, I really
wanted him last week on the thing, the way I thought I might get him.
So like, and then I've Corey Davis and AJ Green. Like, Corey Davis is gone, but I have AJ Green there as well, who been getting all those air yards and all these targets and stuff. So I'm hoping he's gonna he's going to come good for me by the next couple of weeks. But I can't start him anytime soon. I don't think. It's probably one of the two running backs, Carlos Hyde or Jeff Wilson. I'd say will end up in there.
Do you have any thoughts there, Richie? And then give us your projection as well.
Sorry, what was that first?
Have you any thoughts on the matchup, and if so, and if not, give us your prediction there.
Yeah, so it's predicted to be close, and I think it is going to be close. I don't know, with Hannah's team, is that Osprey coming to an end, especially with Derrick Henry being out. So controversially, I think Hannah's going to go 2-2. I think John, you're going to go 2-2.
Love it, Richie. Hannah needs to sort out a running back, or she's going to be playing Tony. Oh no, she got Travis Homer there. She must have picked him up. Could play him, I guess. I mean, she's going to have to play him, I guess, really, isn't she, with Johnny Taylor?
It was Chris Carson officially ruled out, though. I don't think he's been.
Oh, I don't think he is, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, still a lot's going to ride on that, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah. If Chris Carson doesn't play, I'll pick myself. If he does, I think Hannah she'll probably lay a smacking on me. I think if her team's fully healthy.
Yeah, I think Dallas Cleveland. I don't think Dallas is going to have to put up the points they've had the last couple of weeks to win that game. So I don't think Dak's going to have to throw for fucking nearly 500 yards again and whatever touchdowns he did last week. But I wouldn't expect him to hit just 31 points, but I could be wrong, which means I'd say it's going to be more of the game for Zeke where he's going to try to grind down the Browns. They're not Russell. He's Mayfield's not Russell Wilson. He's not going to be able to score whenever he wants. So I think Beckham has a decent game. I like Hurst against Green Bay. Yeah, I'll go with Richie. I'll go with you, John. So
let's go Cougs.
Yeah. This is where we find out if Hannah listens to the podcast.
She's just in the hall up there, but she's probably listening, raging.
We jump into you and Mark. Richie, do you want to do that next?
Yeah, sounds good. I don't know. My team is in bits. I got Frank Gore playing tonight again because there's literally no other option.
This might be the Irish equivalent to the cornered animal game we had last week between me and Rob.
Yeah.
This is two teams who need a big performance and a big win.
Yeah, we need big performances from not a whole lot of talent. You tell me what running back I could put in instead of Frank Gore that is on that waiver wire. Ain't nothing there.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow against Jacksonville with Joe Mixon, he's got that handcuff. Mark Ingram seems to be having fucking yo-yo weeks, so hopefully this means this is a good week. Who knows? Patrick Mahomes is going to be Patrick Mahomes. Henderson did real well last week, so I think he's probably going to do the same again. Mike Evans just been putting up steady numbers. DJ Moore, shit in the bed.
You need a big game from him soon, for sure. Yeah.
Travis Kelce's going to Travis Kelce. Jared Cook might be out, so I might need a different tight end.
Oh, do you have one on the bench? Oh, you dropped Grog already.
I did.
After he got all the, it was so funny. He got those end zone targets. Literally, the day after you dropped him, we got 2 passes thrown to him in the end zone.
I picked up the Green Bay tight end, Robert Tonyan. Put up 12 points last week, 9 points the week before that, so I ain't mad at it.
Yeah, he seems to get the red zone looks from Rodgers, so he does.
Yeah, so throw him in a tight end probably either way. Preston Williams will not be staying on my flex. especially not against the Seahawks. Mike Davis has been getting those CMC touches, so I'd say he's going to have probably a better week than he did last week. They'll put a bit more faith in him. Patriots defense and Ravens defense is going to be a good one because both of those defenses can put up big numbers.
Yeah, the Patriots might need a couple of favors off their defense to win this game. To be honest, I don't know if.
Yeah, we need a pick six or something. That's that.
Yeah, I don't know if that Cam offense will keep up with Patty Mahomes, but I mean the Ravens against Washington, they might go crazy.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, had to
don't.
throw 3 picks last week.
Yeah, I feel bad for Washington this week. Baltimore is going to be after Monday night. They're going to give a hurting to Washington, I think. Yeah, well, I have that here.
It could be a Mark Ingram game for you, Richie.
That's the hope, because what is it like? Week 1 he put up 3 points, then he put up 15, and then he put up 4. So if he puts up 15, 20 points, I'll be happy,
Yeah, I have down that you need big games for Paddy, and Chris Godwin being out. Might look like that Scotty Miller lad might be out as well, so it'd just be the Mike Evans show on this week with Tom Brady. He's going to probably have Casey Hayward on him, so it's just going to be a tough matchup because he's one of the best corners in the league. So, yeah, you need big games for them because you're not going to get big games from Frank. Well, I don't think you're going to get a big game from Frank Gore tonight. I could be wrong. Jay Moore, Paddy P on him.
He's been putting up some steadily increasing numbers, but what was his best game last year? In fairness, last year put up some decent numbers in a couple of games, but other than that, nothing.
That offense, even aside from it being Frank Gore, I feel like Labaz would struggle to put up big games in that offense. They just don't get a lot of scoring opportunities. The defense is not going to get them any takeaways to give you any extra possessions, right? It's just hard to expect a lot from them. But if you can fall into the end zone 2 times,
that's
it. Might be looking all right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's talking about Mark's team. I think I called Mark for his first win last week, but I think Joey Burrow's Joe Mixon might pay off this week. Finally, stack a nice little Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon touchdown could happen. Darrell Henderson's probably gonna. He looks like right now he looks like he's the lead back in LA. Murray Cooper Kupp like that. Travis Kelce like that. He didn't get it last week, but I'm putting down Mark for the win this week. So sorry about that, Richie. I just don't like that. Franco, Mark Ingram, stack at running back. So I'm going Mark to get his win this week.
When you look at Mark's team, it's kind of hard to believe that they'd be 0-3. This is it's a solid lineup. There's no one there that I'm like, who could you put out there instead? Everyone, and he has Myles Gaskin on his bench. He has Deontay Johnson obviously play this week, but Alexander Mattison if there's ever a Dalvin Cook. So he's got a good team. I don't think he needs to be too worried about the 0-3 record. Obviously, it's not great, but
yeah, he needs to win though. I don't think 0-4 making the playoffs from that would be tough. He took advantage of his low waiver wire picks and built out a nice team now. So
definitely, he needs it, as you said, the Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon thing. If that pays off, and Joe Mixon looks good going forward, he's solid. If it doesn't, he's gonna be struggling. But I'll pick Mark to win this week. Sorry, Rich, you picked me to win, but
no, it's honest. Honestly, my team has way too much risk in it, and way too much that could easily just collapse on itself. So yeah, I'm gonna say Mark as well. I think he's got this. I'd like to see him get his first win because, we've all been saying from day one, we really like his team.
Yeah,
I'd like us not to be all wrong.
It sucks that he had to draft from the last spot and now he's just 0-3. After drafting well, he didn't. There was no howlers in his draft. Where you're like, oh, I shouldn't have picked him, or that was a reach, or they're all good picks. It's rough.
If Baz had a good week last week, I would have been screwed because my week wasn't great, and then the first and last picks would have been going up against each other 0-3.
That's good. I'd say Patty Mahomes will probably keep this close by the end.
Yeah, definitely.
Mark by 5-8 points maybe.
So might as well jump into me and Baz here next. The very interesting matchup because we've got a lot of kind of mirror matchups. So we do Tyler Lockett going up against DK Metcalf, Alan Lazard, Alan Rodgers against Devontae Adams if he's playing. So like I guess that kind of I don't know who that works out better for me throwing to Devontae Adams. But
Kyler Murray
he's got
handing off to Chase Edmonds as well.
I'm just kind of putting Chase Edmonds in kind of in the hope that he does something similar. Like I have no faith in Chase Edmonds at all. I don't like Sony Michel against AC. Philip Lindsay doesn't look like he's traveling, but it doesn't look like he's going to start tonight. And then Dobbins, I can't. It's just like you don't know who's just going to get the touches there, so I can't really. Some sort of stability there with Chase Edmonds over picking J.K. Dobbins, which are a wild card.
If you got the word that Lindsay was healthy, would you start him?
Sorry.
If they say like tonight that Philip Lindsay is healthy, like would you start him if they were like,
I would start him, yeah, 100%.
That would add even more to the matchup then.
I know, yeah, Melly G against.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah, they said like tonight's gonna be a shiter of a game, but fucking Us has got two players playing tonight. He's got Melly G currently and Noah Fan starting tonight. So
yeah, and they are like they changed starting quarterbacks, didn't they? So they're going to Brett.
Yeah, it's like
Ripien
or Ripon or something like that. Just got a little sleeper alert in there saying that Monte Adams returns to practice, so he's probably definitely playing now on Monday night, I'd say. Could change things. But yeah, I do like my team. Like considering it's being fucking absolutely decimated with injuries nearly every week, that's a pretty solid. I started Chase Edmonds. I like that Jimmy Graham, but I kind of I do like my team considering it's kind of been, like I said, been decimated. I'm still looking to move Matt Stafford for somebody at some point. I'm not dropping him. I know I'm not giving him up for free. I already gave up Hayden Hurst for free because of stupidity. Reaction to week one.
Just have to see how Drew Brees does me this week. See how
Well,
maybe Ryan Fitzpatrick does me this week.
Right. I'll get something.
Tom Brady.
Gotta be desperate.
I mean, I'll give you something, but you're not going to want it. I'll give you Raquel Armstead. You can put him in your IR spot once Chris McCaffrey's healthy.
He'll eventually come back from COVID.
The Chris Godwin injury, from reading up on it sounds like he's going to miss maybe just this week, and they're playing on Thursday night, so he's going to miss that game, but it shouldn't be more than that, so that's not. Could be a lot worse with a hamstring injury, but I do think I have enough to that's this week. I think I'm going to pick myself to win. Rojo might come back to haunt me after slagging that pick all year. Seeing Lenny Fournette's probably going to be out this week, so he could get some numbers against the Chargers, but Kyler Murray could pop off as well. So I'm going to back myself just because I want to beat Baz. So
yeah,
what do you guys think? I don't agree with that 72% to 28. Like that's a bit.
Yeah, I'd like that. Like that's what's Baz projected to get 138 to 123, right?
Or just Chase Edmonds at like 6 points or something like that, just dragging it down. But I know, fuck it. I'll let you talk. I'm picking myself.
Yeah, like I think I'd probably pick you as well. I think you probably got a better floor team, definitely, than Baz. Like I couldn't see your team only scoring 75 points. I don't think Baz is well this week again either or anything like that. But I think if Devontae Adams misses, CeeDee Lamb, I don't know if he's like 12 projected points is a little high maybe for him. Like 30 from Kyler Murray might do it against the Panthers, but again, like teams just run all over them. Like he might do the run, and Chase Edmonds might do it. Kenyon Drake. It's hard to know, I guess. But yeah, I think I'd fancy you to win this one. Probably a close one, maybe a little bit lower score than they have it projected, but Yeah, like if Baz loses Devontae Adams, he's got to throw Brandon Cooks out there, who's like, he's good and he's going against a weak Minnesota secondary, but I still think you should be able to wrap this one up.
Yeah, like I agree. I don't agree with the. I agree that I don't agree with the predictions. I think the predictions are way off in this. I think it's going to be a lot closer, but as you said, a little bit lower scoring, and like we saw the floor of Baz's team last week being low. So yeah, I think Martin, I think you're going to get it this week.
Yeah, like even if Kyler Murray puts up 30 points, I fancy Rodgers against Atlanta to match. If not, I'd score Kyler Murray this week. I have Michael and Connor here next. Do you want to just jump into that one then? And Connor's fairly feeling himself now. He's
2-1.
I know.
Who would have seen that coming? Connor be I guess he's tied second, third on points, I suppose. But I mean, he's got the second best record in the Canadian division, so good work, Connor.
And that's all without Michael Thomas as well.
Yeah, his best player still to return, possibly this week as well.
I was just going to say he's returned to practice this week, so.
Just looking at Connor's team, like Jimmy Robinson looked fucking great there last Thursday. Todd Gurley, apparently a lot of people are kind of starting to think he's trending upwards or whatever, and that he's going to start producing a bit more. I still have very faith in him, but if he can score you 12, 13 points, fair enough, whatever, as your RB2. Robbie Woods and Robbie Anderson are really good 1-2 wide receiver punch, considering he's missing his best one. Like, Connor's got a really good team.
Yeah. I find like teams just tend to run all over Green Bay as well. So Todd Gurley could go into the end zone once or twice on Monday night. I wouldn't be surprised. Jim Robb, like I said, up against the Bengals, he could. I don't know if he'll score as many points as last week, but he seems like he's got a solid floor of like 9-10 points.
Yeah,
which is pretty decent. And like I said, the two wide receivers, Robbie Anderson thing, and Will Fuller, I'm not sure. I'm in love with Fuller playing this week, but he doesn't really have many other options.
Yeah, I kind of just mentioned Robbie Anderson and Robbie Woods as his 1 or 2 because I think he's been playing them there for the last few weeks, and it's a solid combo. Like they both just get a lot of targets and a lot of work. Like they almost have similar roles in the offenses, like to each other.
Yeah, like I don't know what Michael's plan is for Julio, because he doesn't play till Monday night, and he doesn't have any other Falcons or Green Bay players on the bench. So I don't know if he has any. Doesn't really have any cover there in case Julio isn't in again. So unless he's just going to play the game of Julio can start for me this week, that's why. Lose a lot of question marks.
Fill his entire bench with just people who are questionable and doubtful. Technically, he could put 0 points on his bench this week.
Yeah, if they are, because I don't think Mostert is going to play. Ruggs is not going to play. I don't know if any of you know what DJ Chark is. If he's, because I'm surprised Michael has him in here. I thought he was going to be out for a little while.
That is questionable, so what did it say?
Yeah, he was limited to start the week anyway.
Yeah,
but I mean, if he's missing Julio Jones and DJ Chark there, you end up with maybe, I don't know, T.Y. Hilton and the hidden gem, which isn't a great 1-2 to be starting against the strong one we just mentioned that Connor has. So this could be a tough out game for Michael.
Yeah, he could be staring at fucking 1-3, and Connor could be 3-1.
Love to see Michael get absolutely smoked again.
Yeah, I mean his team really let him down last week, and that New England defense is good against the run. So CH could have another quiet game. David Johnson, they think Duke Johnson might be back, so he might lose a small bit of work to him. You can probably still rely on him to be the number one guy there and get you 15 odd points. But like if Todd Gurley falls in the end zone a couple of times, as you're saying, like people do against Green Bay, I don't know if this might not be a great week for Michael to be trying to bounce back.
You going against Michael, John, are you?
No. I'll pick him to get the job done this week. I need Connor to start dropping some games here.
You can't let those chasing pack or leading pack get too far ahead. But
Yeah,
no, I think I'm gonna go Connor this week.
Yeah, I'm going Connor as well. I don't think Michael's going to do as bad as he did last week, but I don't think he's going to do well enough to beat Connor's team. I think he's got too many injuries, too many questionables. And like you said, Edward Slayer going up against that New England defense, I don't see it happening.
Yeah, and Michael Thomas could easily come into that team instead of Will Fuller as well. So
yeah, okay. Can I put that as like a contingency of mine? If Michael Thomas plays, surely I think Connor will win it because I think it will be close if Michael wins. So
yeah, that post defense that has been fucking putting in work.
Yeah, they were the defense I had in the final last year, and they scored me like 28 or 29 points or something like that. So I got a lot of respect for that defense.
So so me and Richie you went Connor, Richie, yeah. So and then John's got a little asterisk for Michael,
just in case.
Just in case, covering your ass. Go Robin Johnners. I think this might be sneaky close because looking at Connor's team, like it's sneaky banged up. He's having to play Marvin Jones. George Kittle, is he going to be 100%? Is he going to get the work? Tyler Boyd, well, last week, but I don't know if you can trust a good game out of him every week. Obviously, that top three, question marks with them. I don't know, just the rest of the team. Adam Thielen, he's probably going to have a decent game. But I don't know, kind of sneaky like Rob's team this week because, like I said earlier on, I like Washington. They're just going to get a hard pot on them this week, I think. And Lamar could be the forefront of that. He might rush one or two. He might look to make up for the passes to Marquise and the Andrews, so he might look to be trying to get them work, them TDs.
Yeah, if you go down to kind of just player by player in the matchups, like Rob does, he's got a shot to kind of match what John and his players will do. And then when you get to like Michael Gallup against Tyler Boyd, you kind of expect Michael Gallup to beat him. And if J-Rock is healthy against Philly, you expect him to do better than Marvin Jones. If Smooth Roots Galladay is back. So I mean, Rob could do it. Like obviously Mo Ali Cox against George Kittle, if George Kittle is healthy, is a tough one. But
yeah, agree with that.
Yeah, like Rob, he should be able to keep this one close, and it might just kind of come down to kind of Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen off which one of them kind of goes crazier this week, or Kamara say against Lamar Jackson maybe.
Yeah, I'd give him the edge, big edge with Kamara over Sanders.
Yeah, okay, that's fair actually. Yeah.
But he needs a good game at David Montgomery as well. Kind of didn't show up for him at all last week. All right, Richie, what are your thoughts on this, Richie?
Just scrolling through here, like Miles Sanders, it says he's questionable, but he's already limited in practice, and like I'd say he's going to be all right. He's going to be good to go. Like I said, Lamar is going to blow up. Dave Montgomery, hopefully you should put in better numbers. I think you should take Marquise Brown out. I don't think the risk is good enough there to put him in. Michael Gallup could do well. Mo Ali Cox, for some reason, they keep just putting his prediction lower and lower. And he's been putting up great numbers.
Gigantor,
yeah.
Jarek McKinnon, I tried to get Jarek McKinnon off and finally playing him.
he's an old Vikings favorite of Rob's, Jarek McKinnon. So
yeah,
I think throwing Justin Jefferson instead of Marquise Brown. I think.
I don't hate it.
Take the risk. He's been doing well. Marquise Brown has just been getting worse and worse. Then John's team is going to be John's team. They're going to do well. One of my mates is from Buffalo in New York, and he was like, every year the team do this. They just give us that little glimmer of hope, and at some point they're going to rip it away. Now the hope is bigger than ever. The fall is going to be so much worse. It's just a matter of what week it happens.
I don't see it this week against the Raiders.
No. I think Josh Allen will keep it going until, because there's all that shit like when the weather gets cold, and especially up in Buffalo, teams like running it, and it's harder to throw and stuff. So I think he might settle down a little bit once it gets later in the year. But for now, like, I don't see why he doesn't keep putting up 30 odd points, and it's the same with Kamara.
Yeah,
hard to pick against John's team. I'd like to pick Rob to get his first win, but it's really hard to pick against his team. Like, it's just very good.
Yeah. I'll say it was sneaky banged up, but then looking at it again, it's really not that. Like, outside of Marvin Jones and Tyler Boyd, really, like, you just can't look past that top three.
Yeah, it's so good. And even like Adam Thielen has had was he quiet last week? Was it? Or
I think
he's been quiet too. Okay, so 9 last week and 4 the week before, but you'd expect against
Houston,
that they'll be able to do something with him. I don't know, Rob. I think Rob should be able to keep this close, but I think I got to pick Giannis.
Yeah, I have to. I'd like to pick Rob as well. I think it would, like I said, I think it will be close.
Yeah, I'd like to, but I won't.
Yeah.
And it's coming for a few people. Like, the shit the bed weeks are coming. Like, you can't just, like, no one drops 140 all year. Like, no one does it. Eventually you do just get game scripted in some horrible way. And it could be this week. And hopefully it is for Rob, and he'll win. Because he's talked on the podcast about bringing the Quagmire back. So hopefully he'll win a 67 to 68 shiter against Johners. And neither of the teams will be good. Rob would love it.
So we'll go last but not least. Our co-host, Del, against Shauna the Witch. Someone else want to take the lead on this one?
Number 1 Irish division team.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar to John's team in that sense, that it's just when you see those top 3-4 guys, you're like, whew. Doesn't matter who the other team have. This is a tough team to beat every week. Like, just stacked at starters. Shauna is like Julian Edelman down in the flex there. I mean, that's her worst starting skill position player, and like Julian Edelman would get 15 targets a game and is always used well. So I mean, she's just like, no one is obviously guaranteed big scores, but Shauna's about as close as you can get to it. Like, this is such a good team.
Yeah, always manages to do it.
Yeah, it's crazy. She just takes players good take, and they're good.
She looks at the stats every year and just picks best player available, and it works. But saying
really
that, I do like Dell's team this week. If Nuke plays, I'd give him win this week, I think. I fancy a bounce back game from Sean. Cook probably going to have a good game against Houston. Singletary and Zach Moss is out again. It's now a little weak again. Like I said earlier on, I fancy Andrews missed a lot of catches, a lot of TD catch on Monday. I expect him to bounce back with definitely at least one touchdown. I don't know. I don't like Ayukin in the flex. He might end up changing that for somebody else, but I do expect Russell Wilson to pop off again. I do think it's going to be an Aaron Jones week where he's probably going to just dominate that matchup and just make starting Rodgers, Adams, and Lazard look stupid. I have one of those like 3 touchdown, 160, 70 all-purpose yards. But
yeah,
I don't know. I don't like Eckler against Tampa Bay. G's probably going to have Marshall Lattimore on him. Keenan Allen's going up against Tampa Bay as well. Zach Ertz, 49ers. And anyone will probably get work because they're probably going to be playing from behind. And yeah, I'm going Dell, but I think it's going to be close. Russell's going to cook again. I think it's going to be an Aaron Jones week, but this week I just don't think it's going to be enough. She almost got caught out last week from it. This week I think she's going to fall just short, even with Russell popping off. So, with that,
I'd like to think that Russell Wilson is eventually going to have a bad week. I don't think it's against man.
No.
Yeah. I would say Shauna's probably got the only a little bit stronger team now. It almost just really comes down to like Ayuk versus Edelman and the flex there. Up until that, it is quite even. But yeah, just when you talked about the matchups there, I think Shauna's just maybe got too many tough matchups, and Dell has a couple of easy ones in there. Like if Nuke Hopkins does play against Carolina, like he's going against Dante Jackson, like he's going to just smoke him alive.
Yeah, that should actually. That's my little asterisk actually. If Nuke plays, I'll go Dell.
Yeah. Who would he have to play if Nuke doesn't play? Jerry Judy is going to play tonight, so we won't have him. He'd have to
move. Ayuk up from the flex. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if Nuke doesn't play, Dell could still be in trouble because I think Shauna's team will still do well, but
I'm just scored.
On the town.
I'll just start whatever you're on there for around or keep it in either. We'll see.
But yeah, I'd say, Dell's team gets it done this week. And they get the dub over Shauna, and she underperformed just slightly.
Yeah, I think as long as Nuke plays, I think they'll kind of get a win this week. I would like to put an end to Shauna's witchery, but you never know.
Yeah. Who's projected? 58% Dell projected to win. Nice. That's a very tough one to call. That could be the best matchup of the week, I think.
It'd even be like those weird scenarios where the person who loses might end up being like the second or third highest scorer on the week.
Definitely, yeah, I could definitely see that.
It always seems to happen, which must sicken a lot of people.
Yeah.
So that's it, isn't it? That's all the matchups.
Yeah, that's all for this week.
Yeah.
So we've
obviously going to be a weird week with this postponed, cancelled game.
Yeah, I was literally just going to say that we've had the first of that. I'd be very surprised if it's the last one of the year.
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
Surprised the last one of the week.
It's strange that they kind of were just happy enough to let the Vikings game go ahead after the Steelers or the Titans played them last week, and they've had like 11 positive tests for the Titans now. Like I assume the Vikings have had none, which is grand, but at the same time you'd almost think they'd want to be cautious and just give a little bit of time for.
Yeah, you gotta hope they're still doing their daily tests and then nothing's popped up from that since. But I don't know. The NFL is just America. It was always going to happen. Like all other sports around seem to be dealing, but I just did not expect NFL to go through a whole season without at least one game being postponed because of it.
It's not too bad at this stage of the year, I guess, when no team is taking a bye week and you still have a lot of weeks that you can play with and move stuff around. But like if this starts happening week 15, 16, 17 and into the playoffs, like it's going to be a fucking disaster. Like what happens if some playoff team just gets like, and then if they've had 11 positive tests, so you're not supposed to have 2 weeks quarantining, like, but they're just going to play. Well, I suppose it would be 2 weeks from last Sunday to this Sunday, or to next Sunday, but still, I don't know, it's mad. Be an interesting one.
So we'll wrap it up then. So I think we'll obviously thank yourself, John, for filling in for Dell this week.
Thanks.
Turn on your own podcast.
I would never turn on the ATD boys. I was saying to fucking Claire earlier, I was like, I was going to wear the Cougars hat, and I was like, it's a pity we don't have any fucking Around the Driscoll podcast merch. I don't know when we would have got it made or why we would have paid money for it. I was like, it's such a pity we don't have it now, though.
Yeah,
That's why
hopefully,
you pay the money for it.
obviously, unless Dell manages to message in our picks, but he's got to start doing this. If he's on this little rivalry to
Gotta do the
Pick'ems,
picks, yeah.
if he's want to
Okay,
do
yeah.
that, Dell or not.
Yeah, we might have to just start from this week. Well, no, we have week one. We have week one on record. I'll go back and we'll figure out what the score is.
Yeah.
On Sunday mornings or whatever.
Yeah, so we'll leave it at that then. So,
Nice one. Thanks for having me, boys.
No problem.
No bother.
Thanks to everyone for listening.
Watching. Shauna.
Except for Shauna.
ATD podcast for life.
Getting cut. Getting cut.